Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board number 16. Today is Wednesday, October 11, 2023, and it is now 7 p.m. Rules of speaking. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to click the raise hand icon, and when recognized by the chair, to address comments to the chair. Speakers are encouraged to keep their comments under 2 minutes, and those giving reports are encouraged to keep their reports under 3 minutes. Please ensure your microphone is muted unless you are speaking. Please state your first and last name for the record before moving into your comments or question. Written testimony may also be submitted via email using the contact information listed on the Neighborhood Commission Office website. Please silence all electronic devices now. Note the board may take action on any agenda item. As required by the State Sunshine Law, HRS Chapter 92, specific issues not listed on this agenda cannot be voted on unless properly added to the agenda. First up, we have our city monthly reports. We have the Honolulu Fire Department. Captain Adams, are you there? Can you please unmute yourself?
No, we still can't hear you over there. It looks like you're unmuted on WebEx. You just need, if you have a microphone plugged in, that's not unmuted.
Can you guys hear me? This is Iris. Just checking.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Thought it was just me. Okay.
No.
No, it might be your mic volume. I don't know.
We can go back to, let's move on to the next item to our agenda, the Honolulu Police Department. Is there any representative from HPD?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. Hold on real quick. So I'll go. My name is Lieutenant Keone Hong, representing the Kalihi District for HPD. For the month of August 2023, I will go over the stats. So for burglaries, I'm sorry, is it for for September? Hold on, let me pull up the correct. Hold on, it got labeled wrong. Let me try to double check. Sorry. Hold on real quick. Let me double check. They labeled the stats for me wrong. I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Hello. I
I
assume
can
you
hear
guys can hear me. Okay, thanks. So going over the
It's online.
statistics for September, looks like there are 0 burglaries compared to 2. There were 2 motor vehicle thefts compared to 6. There were 5 thefts compared to 2, and then 1 UMV compared to 1 the previous month. The total calls per service were, I believe, sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. They pasted 592 calls for service compared to 586 the previous month. Yeah, sorry, I got the same stats for this month by mistake. But I believe last month there was a question for feedback with statistics for the court park. I didn't attend that meeting last month, but I did look up the statistics. So for the month
Sorry,
of
officer, we were down online, so we were offline, so we were not actually listening to what you have said.
Okay.
So I called a recess, so I'm gonna gavel back in to continue our meeting. And if you could please repeat your report, if you don't mind. Going
All
back
right.
to our meeting, I'm calling on the HPD.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Keone Hong representing Kalihi. For the month of September, the stats were burglaries. It showed 0 compared to 2 in the month of August. Motor vehicle thefts, there were 2 compared to 6. For thefts, we showed 5 compared to 2. And car break-ins, there was 1 compared to 7. Or sorry, 1 compared to 1 the previous month. The total cost per service for this area was 592 compared to 586 the month prior. And I didn't attend last month's meeting, but I was told that it was requested for stats for the court playground. So looking up the stats for the month of September, there are 3 occasions where enforcement was conducted. There were a total of 6 park closure citations issued and 5 warrants were served where 2 individuals were arrested at the park. So that was the September stat at the park. Are there any new questions for this month? I'm available at this time.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board for HPD? Questions from the board? Oh, Mr. Franklin, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant.
Hi.
We had another robbery on School Street on 9/18/23. You have any information about that?
Let me check real quick. The 18th.
I can provide the incident number if you need it.
Yeah, let me pull up the correct screen. Sorry. Yeah, I'll take the incident.
Okay, the incident number is going to be 230918-0269. Sorry if I went fast.
It's okay. I'll try to look at my date. There's too many numbers in that incident number. But you said
I'll do it
18.
slowly for you. Here we go.
Okay, go ahead.
230918-0269.
Yeah, usually after the 2-3, there's only 6 numbers.
I got it in front of me. I'm reading it right off the paper. 230918-0269.
Let me try to look for it by date, and then we can cross-reference it.
It occurred 9/18/2023 at 6:35 in the morning.
I have one with it for North King Street and Liliha. That's probably not the one.
No. We'll come back to it. I have one more question on
Yes.
the sexual assault and rape that occurred on the Kamehameha Road, the fourth, right next to like the police station. Do you
Mhm.
know if those that rape and sexual assault are related?
You know, I think we discussed in the past. Sometimes they report it from the station, at the station, like a walk-in. So they use that address, but it may not have occurred in this area. It could have occurred in Wine person.
Yes, sir. Not to cut you off, but I heard that before. But if a girl get raped and walks in the police station, they do not list the police station as where she was raped.
Yeah.
The occurrence occurred at the location, and they give us the location.
What is the location?
They give the 1800 block of Kamehameha Road, and it wouldn't state that she was raped at the police station. That's not even reasonable.
Yeah.
I only ask this because there are a lot of rapes that occur and sexual assaults on Kamehameha the Fourth Road, and I'm trying to see if there's a correlation between them. But
Yeah.
if somebody walked in the police station, they robbed at my house, and they walk in the police station, you wouldn't list the robbery at the police station. You would show it at my house. That I know for a fact, so I don't understand that statement. But if you don't know if there's a correlation between these crimes, and you just don't have the stat, if you could look into that and get back to us.
Yeah, I'm looking
Because-
at it right now. Like I'm telling you, they walked into the Kalihi police station and they said this incident is an unknown location. So because it's unknown, we just list the police station as where it was reported. So that's probably the reason why that's the only address available.
And they
This
don't list
person
it.
could have been from California. So that's
Well,
that's the
well,
one.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
If we keep-
I can't find that robbery in this area of responsibility. The only one I found on that day was Liliha for some reason. So I'm not sure.
Thank you. Any more questions from the board for HPD? Seeing none? Any questions from the community for HPD? I see and hear none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to the Honolulu Fire Department.
Hello?
Please go ahead, sir. Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Hello, my name is Nathan Kaneshiro from the Kalihi Fire Station. The stats for September of this year is we had 2 nuisance fires and 2 activated alarms with no fire. We also had 55 medicals, 2 MVCs, 1 mountain rescue, and 1 hazmat incident. The fire safety tip for this month is Fire Prevention Month. The National Fire Protection Association sponsors Fire Prevention Week, which is observed from October 8th to the 14th. As the national campaign is promoted throughout the month of October, this year's theme is Cooking Safety Starts With You. Pay attention to fire prevention. Did you know cooking fires are the leading cause of home fires and home fire injuries? Unattended cooking is the leading cause of cooking fires and deaths. What can you do? The good news is you can prevent most cooking fires and burns. Help keep your family safer with these simple but effective tips. 1. Turn pot handles toward the back of the stove. 2. Always keep a lid nearby when cooking. If a small grease fire starts, slide the lid over the pan and turn off the burner. 3. Watch what you heat. Set a timer to remind you that you are cooking. And last but not least, have a kid and pet-free zone of at least 3 feet around the stove and areas where hot food or drink is prepared or carried.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board for the Honolulu Fire Department?
I have one.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask one question about the hazmat situation. Where did this happen, sir?
That I am not sure. I can get back to you on the next month. Right now, I am unsure of where that one occurred. Yeah. The question is, where do you know where that one occurred? I don't know. We just have it on top of here. On top there. Yeah. I do not have that information right now, but I can get back to you next month.
Yeah, and maybe more details as far as like, did
That
anyone get
incident?
hurt? Yes.
Okay.
Did anyone get hurt? Is there anything that we can do to prevent that to happen again and stuff like that?
Okay.
More in detail. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Any more questions from the board? Seeing none, any questions from the community? I see and hear none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See next month. Okay, moving on, we have the Board of Water Supply, Iris Oda.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm here to report the main break report. There was 4 main breaks in September. September 1st had 2 near 2239 Lokilani Street. The other one was near 2038 Kamehameha 4 Road. There's one third one was on September 2nd near 1637 Owawa Street, and September 12th near 1948 Kamehameha 4th Road. Just one announcement. On October 21st, that's a Saturday, the Board of Water Supply and our partners in this year's we have a Imagine a Day Without Water event. So it's going to be located at the Freshwater State Recreation Area in Wahiwa. That's near 380 Walker Avenue. Again, that's on October 21st, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's going to be 15 city, state, and community organization booths with interactive activities. You can learn about the importance of on water and the impacts of climate change today and in the future. So you can join us for rain barrel and native seed workshops, xeriscape plant craft activity, freshwater fishing activities. You can make Genki balls. It's a bioremediation that removes pollutants from soil and water. Plus, we'll have some Ono food, play some games, and win some small prizes. So go to boardofwatersupply.com/onewaterhawaii to learn more about this event. And I just had a follow-up from last month. Member Kumalai asked, get my paper here. Mr. Kumalai asked about some procedures of cleaning up the waters after the main break. So I asked that question, and I was given the procedures regarding cleanup after main break. So when the main is completed and a new pipe is ready to go back into service, the crew will fill in the trench, fix the road patching. Temporary patches added covers the excavated area until the contractor can permanently restore the road. And the board will monitor and maintain that temporary patch until the road is completely restored. So I asked them also, if you're not satisfied with the main break cleanup after the debris and stuff like that, please call our 24/7 trouble hotline. Trouble 24/7 trouble line. You can call 748-5000. Sorry, 808-748-5000, option 1, or you can email contact us at hbws.org. And if they can provide pictures, that would help too. So, and then they'll follow up as needed. So, hopefully, Mr. Komolai, that answered your question about the debris from the last main break. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions from the board or Board of Water Supply? Seeing none, any questions from the community? I see and hear none. Thank you very much, Ms. Oda. See you next
Thank
month.
you. All right.
Okay, moving on, we have our residents and community concerns. Meeting participants may present their community concerns at this time. Note, due to state sunshine law concerns not listed on this agenda may be presented, but no board action can be taken. Items brought up may be placed on a future agenda for discussion or action. Any community or residents' concerns? Anyone? I guess we're very good. Okay, let's move on to our presentation. Kaiwai Elementary School Stream Project, Miss Faith Ayu.
Aloha, everyone. On behalf of Mr. Carter, our principal, and myself, we just wanted to welcome everyone back onto campus here and just give you a brief update about what's happening in the stream. So the children and I have been continuing the restoration by removing invasive species and planting native species there. However, we have run into a few problems. One, it's the homeless that is down below where we are in Kalihi Stream. And our back fence has been vandalized where they've cut it. And so now they cut through from the bottom of Kalihi Stream from our school into our property, into the stream. And then they go through that dead end on Au, and then they go upwards there. Also, there has been vandalism in the stream by people stealing our fruits and whatnot. And the children can't even partake in their fruits of labor because, you know, people steal it by the time that the kids are able to share and partake in it. The other thing is that over here on Kamehameha 4th Road in front of our school, there used to be a sign that says no parking during school hours. For more than a year, it's been missing. So as parents and community members or faculty and staff come out through the exit, it's very hard to see the upcoming traffic on Kamehameha 4th Road. So if we could get some help with that. And lastly, our stream has no water. It has no vai. And before COVID, we had contacted many different agencies, city, state, and federal, and they all passed the buck as far as, oh, when you get to this point of the road, it's city. Then this point is state, and then federal. So I'm just wondering, who can we contact or who can help us get our vai back? Because when I first started here at Ka'evai, the stream had overflowing of water. There was opai and whatnot. And now we only have intermittent water when it rains heavy. And so we just would like some help back getting our vai and also helping to maintain, or what can we do, or whoever can help us with the homeless in Kalihi Stream. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, Faith. If you could give us some short background regarding the project, when did it start and how did it start? I know you do.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is the history. Ka'evai, the property that we sit on, was once owned by Alexander Liho, Kamehameha IV, hence Kamehameha 4th Road. And yes, it is Kamehameha 4th Road. It's not Cam 4. And also our school is named Ka'evai. Yeah, mahalo for that. Anyway, so what happened, I want to say maybe almost 8 years now. The stream was just overgrown with invasive grass, and there was a dispute over who owned the stream. And so it was deemed that the stream was owned by the school, Ka'evai here. And then so Mr. Carter, our principal, had asked me if there was anything that we could do. And then so I said, all right, let me go and see my pule and talk to my kupuna, which I did. And so they said, all right, we're going to turn this into a learning center. We're going to remove all of the invasive and then start to plant it. And what has really helped us throughout the years is Alan and Lynette Kumalai. They have been our strongest supporters. Every time we're out in the stream doing our hana, auntie and uncle are always there helping. And you know, the children do the hana, they clean by their hands. We don't have any equipment that helps. Yes, we have one custodian that helps to maintain that entire stream, the length of it. And he's in there for maybe, I wanna say 2 hours every day, but one person and the many hands that we have that go into the stream, as well as myself, we have done a whole lot. And I would want to say maybe 60% of the stream, we have maintained the invasive grass. and planted it with natives. And we still need to go down further, but we still have some obstacles that we would like to overcome. And if the board or whoever is listening out there can help us, we would really appreciate it. So, mahalo.
Thank you very much, Faith. Any questions from the board, Mr. Franklin?
Yes, I'm really confused about something really quickly. The school, they're saying the school sits on private property and that the
No, the school
stream,
does not sit on public property. It is owned by the State of Hawaii Department of Education.
that's what I'm asking. So the school is not on private property, it's owned by the state. So I'm confused as how the school owns the stream. That's what I'm
It's part
confused
of the
about.
property. It's part of where the property line extends is to the stream. That's just like above on the other side of Kamehameha Fourth Road is a private owner who owns that side of the stream.
Correct.
So it depends on where your property line begins and ends.
Yes, but
Fortunately, we, Ka'ewa Elementary, our property line extends to the stream there.
I understand all that. My question is, the state owns the school, therefore the state owns the school property, not the school doesn't own it. That's what I'm asking. So the state owns the school property, therefore the screen is owned by the state, correct? I'm asking
Technically,
these
yes.
Yes. So I'm asking these questions because if we're going to get you help, we have to go through the state to say this stream belongs to you, the state of Hawaii, and you need to help them out. So we need to contact state representatives because the school is owned by the state, correct?
Yes, and we have in the past, and Mr. Mizuno has been very, very helpful in getting us where we need to be. But we just need further assistance because, like I said, it passes certain boundaries when we get to, like, the highway here on Kamehameha Fourth Road. And that's where we want to go because we don't know where our water has gone, which has come, it's supposed to be from up Mauka. So it goes up past the Kamehameha Fourth Road, behind the housing, all the way up into Kilohana. And so that's where the problem is.
I understand. I'm asking because I'm on the beautification committee. I'm going to come down and track every bit of that land for you and figure out who owns what. And then we'll put them to the responsibility for helping the school. That's why I'm
Thank
asking
you.
these questions.
We are on fall intercession and school will begin next week, Monday. And you can come and ask for me. My name is Faith IU.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Mr. Rojas, followed by Mr. Hassi.
Yes. We just I'm the sustainable committee for the board, so I want to work with you. And I was about to talk. Yeah, I'm about to get the sustainable coastal involved so we can go up the stream and clean it up. But we have to work with the officials, state officials and the city, so that way we can go and figure out what's going on up there. And if you don't mind, we can modify the sustainability part of getting the water. We can use boat of water supply. I think they have water catchment and stuff like that, and we can innovate it. I want to get with you.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Mr. Hassi?
Thanks so much for your presentation and for your hospitality for us this evening. It sounds like this might be a good opportunity for the students at your school to study the impacts of climate change, right? Because I think we kind of know anecdotally that there's historic droughts and that it's getting worse because of climate change. I'm wondering, for instance, if we were to compare the changes in the water in this area of Kalihi, how it compares to up Mauka, where to the Po'oi and even down to the Muliwai, to see is there historically lower amounts of water all throughout the stream, or is it just in this portion of the stream? That's the kind of research that I'm hoping that our Keiki can do. That would be really informative, I think.
Of course, yes.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from the board? Mr. Rojas, follow up?
Yes, as far as like climate change and stuff like that, that's why we have to be ready, and that's why you have to be innovative. So as a challenge come, I think all we need is to work together,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Mhm.
got it.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for your support and your attention.
Thank you, thank you. I think right now we have to determine the problem. And after we determine, then we can proceed on requesting help from our state governments. Thank you very much, Faith. Representative Mizuno.
Thank you. I enjoy working with you. Let me work with you on all the issues. So homeless concerns, that is definitely HPD, city and state. So if you can collaborate and work with Lynette on an email to me, I would make this right. Lynette and I, we did this on one of the care homes. Remember when COVID hit and we got them to legally follow the law? So this is my forte. I love doing this. Second, stolen fruit. This is HPD. So again, if you can work with Lynette, email me and I'll get this off to HPD, both an email and a letter asking that they monitor the area to stop the stealing of the fruit from your labor as well as the kids, the students. Third, no parking sign. I need more information. Where is that exact location? Maybe I can get a picture of that and I will get that to both the state and city and county. I believe it might be city property, but again, once I get a location of that, we can determine city or state and who needs to fix that sign, put the no parking sign. And finally, help with the stream. It's a state issue because DOE owns that. So I can do a letter to the Department of Education as well as the Department of Health Environmental Branch to see what we can do to try to find out why the water has run dry. And I agree with member Hussey, climate change, it is, I've gone to Micronesia. The taro patches are filled with seawater. It's been a game changer. Places that you could see at low tide, completely now covered by water, we can't see. We get that. This is not a myth, and we like to work with you. But I've gotten those points because I think I can help, and I'd like to work with you and Lynette via email, and then I'll draft the letters for HPD, the state, the city, what have you. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And to add on that homeless encampment by the stream, didn't we have that issue before as well? And we were able to remove the homeless people from there a few years back. You remember that, Lynette? And they're coming back. That's always been an issue. You have anything to add, Representative Mizuno?
Yeah, Chair Mizuno, you're correct. That was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And we really collaborated with HPD. They got involved, they started monitoring, and we reduced the homeless. They're also drinking, breaking of bottles by the park and by the school. They were able to stop that. So, but yeah, I think that was 3 or 4 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you very much, Mr. Rojas. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think if we go ahead and identify if there is a really a homeless problem there, I think it need to be fixed right away because it's a concern for the community and the students and the whole school environment, especially when kids working on that area. So I encourage police department and everyone to get involved on this ASAP.
Thank you. Any more comments from the board? Seeing none, thank you very much, Ms. Faith Ayu, and thank you for having us here at Kaivai Elementary School. Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have our city elected officials. First up, we have Mayor Rick Blanjardi's representative, Bandmaster Clark Bright, however, is unable to attend tonight, but they have a written report. I don't know, should I read this or no? It's quite long. I'll just give you the highlights, okay? So the highlights and announcements, the mayor's stance on enforcing public welfare laws, Safe and Sound Waikiki initiative marks its first year on September 5th. A trio of affordable housing updates, safety tips for fire prevention, week, Oahu's parking meters get upgraded, and the department follow up on issues. There's the congestion at CAM Shopping Center. That's the congestion on the traffic, and that's not the Department of Transportation Services issue. That's the Department of DOT, Department of Transportation, which is state. And there is also an issue of the no parking sign, which we called in the night after we had the meeting, and it was removed the following day or so, Ms. Lynette. And there is also a lane restriping at Nala Nieha Street. Lack of parking. These are the issues that was discussed last meeting, I guess. And there is an abandoned vehicle. That was the abandoned vehicle here in front. And the people, this one, I need to read this. People's Open Market. The People's Open Market at Kalihi District Park has just one vendor showing up. What can be done to attract more vendors and also publicize the market? Department of Parks and Recreation, the People's Open Market staff realized that the model of moving market sites each hour is not working as it used to when it was first created 50 years ago. We are currently working on proposals and or strategies to increase customer and vendor participation, which unfortunately may or may not include Kalihi Valley District Park site. However, the POM staff are open to discussing new ideas or partnerships to continue the market at Kalihi Valley District Park that would be beneficial to both customers and vendors. Please contact Richard Mills, the POM supervisor, at 808-768-9294. Okay, that's the mayor's report. If you have any questions to the mayor's office, please say so, and our neighborhood assistant, Mr. Johnson, will jot down everything and will get back to us next month. Any questions for the mayor's office? Mr. Franklin.
Yes, I would like to know if the mayor this year on his operation budget, if he funded the neighborhood board commission. That's what I would like to know.
Okay. Spencer is writing that down, and we will have an answer next month, Mr. Franklin.
Yes, because it's concerning our this board annual budget, which I've never seen in the last 3 years. So I'm trying to make sure the mayor did fund this board, which is $25,000 to $30,000 a year for publicity and things of that nature. But I am perplexed as to why this board has never had a budget or a budget meeting in the last 3 years.
Okay, we invited the executive director of the Neighborhood Board Commission, Mr. Lloyd Yoninaka, last month. However, you were away, so we were not able to discuss that matter. And so Spencer will get back to us for that answer.
Yes,
Correct,
because I
Spencer?
don't know where our budget is.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for the mayor's office? From the board? You have? Mr. Rojas.
Yeah, at one point we talked about the parking problems. Well, they had the farmers market, so I think I mentioned if we would be able to move the farmers market to the school if it's possible. Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't catch that one. Sorry.
I can email this to you, to all the board members, or I can ask Spencer to email it to all the board members so we can read. Any more questions from the board for the mayor's office? Seeing none, any questions from the community for the mayor's office? I see and hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on, we have Council Member Tyler Dos Santos Tam. Is any representative from his office? I don't see anyone. However, he has District 6 update circulated on the table in front if anyone interested. Okay, let's move on to our state elected officials. We have the governor, Governor Josh Green's representative. Deputy Director Kristen Sakamoto is unavailable tonight. So we have Kelson Paiva.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Okay, great.
please go ahead.
Okay. I have a few updates from the August meeting. There are a couple of questions, and so I want to share with you folks today. The first question was asking if there are any limit to number of homes that a corporation can own in Hawaii. That answer is no. Also, another question came up from Board Member Franklin regarding the U.S. Senate trying to pass legislation to limit the number of homes that a corporation can buy, and if the governor will propose similar legislation. As of right now, the governor is not proposing anything in his administrative package, but we are monitoring the situation and address it accordingly if it needs to be. And then also the last question was asking about if there are any tools available to speed development. I do have a website and email address for you folks. The website is governor.hawaii.gov/housing, or you can email gov.housing@hawaii.gov. And that's all for me. I'm open to taking any questions for the governor's office for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we take questions, I would like to also call in. We have a Department of Transportation representative here tonight. I was informed by Senator Kim that we have Shelley Kunishigi, who can answer all our questions regarding the no right turn on Lickilicky and School Street and any pertinent questions. So, Ms. Shelley Kunishigi, if you can respond to us regarding that issue.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, I see your normal DOT representative, Henry Kennedy, on the line. So I'll defer to Henry, and then if there's anything after Henry's report, I can fill in.
Sounds good. Mr. Kennedy?
Hi, thanks, Shelley. I attend this meeting once a quarter, and I think the last time I was here, there weren't any questions or any requests for me to investigate. So I really don't have anything that I prepared. If there's anything that you'd like me to research and come back to you, if you could please let me know now or send me an email to henry.kennedy@hawaii.gov, and I'll be happy to chase that down and get it back to you guys. But I'm sorry, Shelley, I don't know anything about this, the restricted left turn thing.
Okay, so it's the no right turn on Red and Lickilicky and School Street. So what that was implemented in June 2022 due to basically it was a review that our traffic section did of all crashes involving disregard of a traffic control device, and that intersection was one of those that came up. So we have made adjustments to the timing, and we have received concerns from Senator Kim's office about people using Leilani and Hernandez as kind of a go around to get around that no right turn on Red at Lickilicky and School. So we have sent out our traffic section as well as our safety section to take a look. Our traffic section did not find any safety concerns aside from the left turn from North School Street going on to Likelike is time restricted already, and they had requested HPD to kind of enforce that, and that was enforced. Our safety section went out recently. They went out on September 14th, and what they discovered was basically the concerns were that the buses have the bus stops are too close on Kalihi Street. A lot of children and elderly are walking against the lights on a regular basis. Traffic coming out of Kalihi Street from Kamehameha Shopping Center causes lots of congestion in the afternoon. And so those are their observations. They did not come back with any recommendations, though, so we can go back and request recommendations. I don't want to take up too much time, but just to give some quick reports on ongoing construction projects. So the mainline paving for Likelike Highway has been completed. We do have some repairs that the contractor is going to be required to make before we accept that project, though. They have currently suspended night work due to the seabird fallout season. So that work will start back up sometime in mid-December. So we'll put out a notice when that happens. And also, we confirmed that the Poly Highway Improvements Phase 2 will be substantially completed at the end of the year. And then upcoming projects that would affect this neighborhood board, we have our H1 eastbound improvements at Ola Lane that should be starting in early 2024. And we do have our Wilson Tunnel rehabilitation that will start sometime mid-2024. So subject to any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kunishige. Any questions from the board? Mr. Franklin.
Yes, ma'am. Really quickly, there's two. I'm trying to find the status of the two school speeding signs for Kalihi Uka School on the Kalihi Uka. I think Councilman Santos Tam put those requests in. I'm trying to find the status of those two signs. They're signs that's in disrepair. Both of them are coming and going on Kalihi, around Kalihi Uka School. And they tell you to slow down before you get into the school zone. But they've been broken for 15 years. So I'm trying to see if we can get those signs updated. And again, a request has been put in the Department of Transportation by Councilman Tam's office.
If I could answer that question, Mr. Franklin, that issue would go to the city's Department of Transportation Services, since Kalihi Street belongs to the city. So we have to ask the city regarding the status of that.
That's fine.
Thank you. If you could add that question to the city. Thank you. Any more questions from the board for Governor Josh Green's office?
Is this for DOT as well, Chair?
Both, yes, DOT and the governor's office.
Can I?
Okay, hold on, Senator. Let me call on Mr. Koga.
Oh, thank you. I guess the part of the issues that wasn't addressed by Shelley and maybe Henry as well, but the issue was the right-hand turn from School Street onto Likelike going north. Because what's happening in the afternoon traffic period is that because of the no right turn on red, the traffic is backing up on School Street, and it's going as far back as Makua County. So anyway, so the issue of it's, I don't think it's a timing issue as opposed to whether or not we can get some resolution on whether or not we can eliminate no right turn during peak, at least during peak hours.
Okay, so Mr. Koga, because it's a safety measure, we are not planning on eliminating it. We have attempted to address through timing with the goal of clearing the queues within 2 cycles at most. So if it's not, basically if you're waiting at the light for more than 2 cycles, then you can let us know. I'll put our email in the chat, or put our email and our phone number in the chat. But our email is dotpao@hawaii.gov. And our phone number is 808-587-2160. So I think if anything, we will attempt to address through timing first.
Okay, I think there's more to that. I've sat in the traffic at least through one green cycle, but that's there's more of a safety issue involved, because what's causing problems is people get very anxious that are backed up on North School Street, because they're stuck behind the people trying to make the right turn, and then it causes them to make some risky traffic moves in the highway itself. So now they're moving into the westbound lane in the on School Street. So it is causing secondary trouble. So it's not only clearing the intersection.
Okay, our traffic section observed in January, March, April, and our safety section observed in September. I'll ask them again.
Okay, good. You should start, ask them to go out next week when public schools are back in session. So that's when it's the worst.
Thank you. Senator Kim, followed by Mr. Franklin.
Thank you. I was going to follow up on that, exactly what Mr. Koga is talking about, Shelley. So, I just had somebody tell me last night they waited for 3 cycles before they could get through the intersection on School Street going across Likiliki because of the right turn. Because if you've got people ready to run a right turn, they cannot turn, then you're stuck there. And then on top of that is, as the traffic, when the light turns green and you start going across Likiliki towards Diamond Head, the traffic coming up, because they couldn't catch the left turn lane, they're now turning left onto Fernandez and the side street, and they block traffic there too. They're not supposed to turn, but they do turn. And so that's bugs out. And then the people in that area, Fernandez, get upset because there's so much traffic going through. So something's got to be done, because that section at Likiliki and School Street is already along. It's like, what is it, 4 patterns? You got to wait 4 patterns? Cycle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cycles. Six cycles for one pass through, and somebody's waiting there three of them. And I know you folks did surveys, because I got the reports on it. It hasn't improved or gotten worse since those surveys were done.
Okay, I'll pass that on to our traffic and safety.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin.
Chair, my question is for the governor's office. I have nothing to say about the intersection of Likiliki and School.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. My question was, when we were talking about, because everyone's talking about fair housing in Honolulu and that the middle class can't afford a home. The reason I asked that question about not letting corporations like they're doing across the South, where I stated that 9 different businesses own 80,000 homes each. I was just trying to see if there was a law to prevent them from coming here so the average citizen or that can afford a home can buy a home without competing with billionaires who gobble up the homes, not to resell them, but to just lease them back to the citizens so they become renters and not owners. And that's why I asked the question, did we have those organizations already in Honolulu? And were the legislation trying to do anything to prevent them from coming here, taking all the homes from the people that live here? That was my question.
Thank you.
Mr. Paiva, are you taking notes of that? Please have Deputy Director give us an answer next month.
Okay, we'll do.
Certain question. Thank you. Any more questions for the governor's office, Mr.?
Not the governor, the transportation.
Yes, they're still part of this agenda. So you have
Okay,
a question for
yes,
the
I do. For
DOT.
the transportation, the purpose of that intersection, are we trying to are we trying to cut down accident or safety, or we're trying to cut down traffic? What's the main point there?
The purpose of the no right turn on red is for safety.
Okay, I think we can fix that if we have an officer during like when school hours. I think that could be implemented. And then for the second reason, could you be more detailed on that? The second reason, as far as safety and for traffic,
Okay,
for those
let me-
purposes.
Yes, so for the safety aspect, we conducted a study basically looking at fatalities associated with no right turn on red locations. And at that particular intersection, there was one pedestrian fatality, which is why we implemented that. So we implemented this pretty much across the state. The first 8 sites were done in summer 2022. And those were all areas that had pedestrian fatalities or bicycle crashes.
Something terrible is living underneath.
Okay, any more questions? Mr. Sung, followed by Miss Dory. Okay.
Hi, my name is James Sung. This is a question for Shelley and the DOT. Just wondering, would going across School Street from Lihi, can we put in a right arrow only turn and have that arrow when Lihi is making their left turns? Because there'd be no conflict point when the two Lihi townbound and Kaneohe bound are making those left turns. That's one cycle where they could easily turn and no one's crossing the street at the same time. So when the right left turns are going, then they can make a right turn and then you could shut it off and then the rest of the through traffic could continue going. If you're looking for speeding up traffic and trying to move traffic through that area, that's just a suggestion. And also getting rid of those slip lanes. I'm sorry, slip lanes are, if you're wondering about traffic fatality, the 2 slip lanes are pretty dangerous.
I can request that our traffic section look at it. Usually to add a movement means adding a signal head and doing modifications to the entire intersection. So we can report back to the next neighborhood board meeting on that.
Thank
Chair,
you,
can I
Miss.
on that, Chair?
Hold on, Senator. Miss Dory.
Good evening, Doreen Katsutani. I'd like to add on that intersection, that Likelike School Street. Another reason why there's that backlog is because there's that bus stop right there before on School Street before Likelike. and it's a heavily used area, the bus, but um, the riders, there's a lot. So the bus stays there for a while to let the riders off and on. So I noticed that's one of the reasons also. And I know back sometime, Kamehameha schools, they used to, so way back, they used to come down, they could go up Kalihi Street and turn left to go on Likiliki, but that was blocked off. And I understand because of the traffic congestion. But I noticed that, that could be part of the reason too. Yeah, right? The Kamehameha schools, parents, the vehicles that exit that area, they all come down to School Street.
Thank you, Senator Kim.
Thank you, Doreen. That's a good point about the buses. But Shelley, I just want to point out that, having a right turn is also a good recommendation. However, all you have to do is have one or two cars that want to go straight, and they're going to be blocking the right turn. So what we had to do on Vineyard, if you recall, right now, Vineyard turning onto Punch Bowl to go to Queens, we put during peak hours in the morning, that lane could only be used for right. Says right turn only from, I don't know, what is that, 7 to 9? I forgot what the date time is. And of course, every now and then a car goes there, but what they do is then they put the cones to block it so that that lane could only turn right. But I don't know if that can solve that because it doesn't have that many different traffic patterns on Vineyard and Punch Bowl as you do on the Kiliki end.
Thank you, Senator. Any more questions for the Department of Transportation and the Governor's Office? Seeing none, thank you very much. Hope to see you next month, Shelley, to get back.
Thank you, Shelley. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have Representative John Mizuno. Oh, I'm sorry, wait now. Is it?
Yeah, Senator Kim, I think.
I'm
John,
sorry.
you ready?
No, Senator Kim, followed by Representative Mizuno. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We work well together, so he could go first. Did send out my report. And if any of you would like to get your report directly before the meeting, you can send me your email and we'll add you to the list. I'll touch upon some of the things included in the report. First of all, constituent did reach out to my office to raise concerns about refuse bins being out on the sidewalks, stored there forever, not just during rubbish pickup days, as well as bulky items and illegal parking on Emma Place. And so we did contact the refuse department. They did go down there and let the residents know you cannot store rubbish bins on the sidewalk unless it's on, rubbish pickup day, but other than that, you have to move it. And so he explained it to them and they did move it. Also, you cannot have bulky items on the sidewalks. So they also removed that. And then the police came and they actually gave 12 citations to the illegal parking at Emma Place. And if you know of Emma Place, it is a very small, narrow street there. So the residents there have been complaining for months since the beginning of the year. And so I really want to say thank you to the Department of Youth as well as to the police department. Feral chickens, I know that's a big issue, and our working group met on August 17th, and we found out that the city is working with Sandwich Owls Pest Solutions to fund portions of private property owners' ability to remove some of these feral chickens. And while there's a charge to that, the city is subsidizing it, and the state, I hope to get the state to be able to provide funding so that we can supplement it so that the homeowners don't have to pay as much to do that. There is going to be a security watch, which I'm sure Mizuno will talk about this Friday at the Court Park. I just thought I'd touch upon that. And there is a wildfire protection plan through DLNR. And if any neighborhood board or community association would like to create this plan for the community, you are welcome to contact DLNR. They will help you with the application. There is funding for this project as well, if the community so choose to do that. And the information is on my report. Finally, if you have any unused prescription drugs and you want to dispose of it safely, we will have a take back day scheduled on October 28th, last Saturday of the month at the state capitol. You can drive by and drop it off. You can see that information also on my report. And then the Lanakila Multipurpose Center having its show and sell event of 2023 on Wednesday, October 18th, 10:30 a.m. And if you would like to help with potted vegetable and fruit seedings for the event, you can call them and they will help to facilitate that. So with that, I'm open to questions.
Thank you, Senator. Any questions from the board for Senator Kim? Seeing none, any questions from the community? I see and hear none. Thank you very much,
There's
Senator
one,
Kim.
Chair.
Okay, go ahead. Ooh, Mr. Franklin.
Senator Kim, first I'd like to thank you for the Feral Chicken Act. But is your office going to work with our city council failure to enhance the law for the Animal Nuisance Act? For 3 years, I've been saying it is the city council failure, and the law has gaping holes in it to address the problem. And the research shows that it's the city council failure to update and improve that law to make that law enforceable, so no one can keep blaming feral chickens for all the calls that come into HPD for animal nuisance. I just want to know if your office plan on getting with them and telling them that their failure to improve this law to make it enforceable is why you have this problem. That's my question.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because in the working group, that was brought up, the definition of a nuisance versus a pest and some of the nuances involved with whichever, I didn't realize there's such a legal definition that will allow you to enforce or not enforce. And so something that we're looking at and working with them on that and any other issues that may come up so that we can work together to solve not just the feral chicken, but all of the nuisance that is out there.
Yes, ma'am, but the law is not the distinction between them. The law actually states that when a police officer go on an animal nuisance call, that's where the ball is dropped. The policeman can decide on his own that it's not a problem, and then he does not do what the law tells him to file a report, follow-up report. There's no follow-up for the community police to go back out and revisit the property, see if they there, and you're not issuing any citations for it whatsoever. So the big failure, the law is written well, but when it gets to the enforcement of the law, it basically gives all authority to the police that responded. And if he does not want to work, then he will not issue a citation and warning because he's not required to do anything else besides drive to the location and drive away. That's the problem with the law. There's
That's
no
the problem.
enforcement at that end.
Hate to tell you this, but that's a problem with all of our laws, our enforcement. We as a legislature can create a law, we can pass the law, but we can only do so much to get them to enforce it. And I know even with this Emma Place, the police went there earlier and they just gave warnings and warnings and finally had to call again. And finally, they issued 12 citations. So it's the enforcement, and unfortunately, we can't necessarily legislate them to enforce, right? I mean, the judges have sentences that sometimes are not strong enough, and yet we cannot tell them what to do as far as giving out the sentences, so the enforcement. But we will do whatever we can to make the law clear so it makes it easier for them to enforce. But again, we cannot force them to write a ticket if they choose not to.
Yes, ma'am, but in most laws, it states you shall. Shall mean that if a police does not do it, he is suspended or fired. So there are no shells in the law. It's
Even
like
if
doing
there's a shell, even if there's a shell, I tell you that it's the discretion. because they will say, well, you know, there's ways around that. I'm just letting you.
So, yes, ma'am, but then there's no sense in having a legislative branch because the police department works for the legislative branch. But if the police department can tell the legislative branch what to do and what they're not going to do, then there's no sense in making any laws because the police are telling you what to do. They're saying that you might pass the law, we voted you in, but they will not enforce the law unless they want to. And that's what you're
No.
saying.
What they'll say is that they only have so much resources, so much manpower, and that they will do whatever it is that is in the law. And sometimes it's giving notices. I'm just telling you. So we've done this for 40 years. You know, the police is under the city and county of Honolulu, but still they enforce all of the laws across the state. And it's you need to talk with the chief of police.
Well, no, he works for you.
No, he doesn't work for me.
Well, he
works
does
for
what
us.
he does what the
works for the
law
mayor.
tells him to do. But if he's going
Yeah,
to
he
do
works for
whatever
the
he
mayor.
wants to do, then we should just ask the police for permission, because apparently the chief of police funds everything, and he's telling people that his officer will enforce what he wants them to enforce. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions from the board for Senator Kim? Seeing none, any questions from the community? Mr. Song.
Hi, my name is James Sung. I have two topics to address. This is for both Kim and Mizuno. My first question is, how do we get Dome Middle School and Kalakaua Middle School funded for a band, a school band? Only Farrington is where the first place that they have music class, besides maybe a little flute in elementary. That's my first question. And then my second topic is when HECO goes bankrupt because of all the lawsuits, I was just wondering, can we have a state ballot in 2024 to take HECO from a profit organization to a nonprofit organization? And I'll give you the link to it, but this is something that Maine's doing, and they're taking their two electric companies to a nonprofit organization. That's my two topics for both of you.
Okay, let me start with the DOE. I know when I was at Kalakaua School, we had a band, full-on band. I didn't go to those schools, so I can't speak for that. But I understand that it is up to the school to determine what kinds of courses and classes that they want to have and what they're able to fit into the schedule and the demand. And so the Board of Education is the ones that determine some of these types of courses that are offered as an elective. And at the school level, they believe work with the board to determine what those courses, those classes will be. And I don't know if John has anything else to add to that. As far as, go ahead, I'm sorry. As far as the HECO situation, I'm sure those questions will be talked about and discussed during the upcoming legislature. And as far as having it go nonprofit, somebody has to be willing to go ahead and be that nonprofit. I think there's a lot of regulations and so forth, and I'm not sure that many companies or many takers will want to be in that role. If something happens to Hawaiian Electric, I'm not sure what's going to happen to our state, to be honest. But it is going to be on top of our agenda.
Only reason why I bring this up, so HECO would then be, instead of being responsible to the shareholders, they'll be more responsible to the stakeholders, which would be all of us in this room. And so their main responsibility be us instead of the shareholders.
Yeah, but they could pull out. They could pull out and decide they don't want to do it.
Yeah, so that's just something that I did. I'll send you more research on this that I've been doing.
Because if they go bankrupt, which they could with all the lawsuits, that's a
Yes.
possibility that they could go bankrupt and they'll be out of it completely.
So that's just a suggestion, and might as well start looking at this now instead of after the fact, right?
That
So
would be the PUC, the Public Utilities Commission, will actually have jurisdiction, but I assure you that will probably be discussed during the legislative session. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from the community? Or Mr. Hussey?
I just want to say that I think that's a great idea. And I thank you for bringing that up because we are completely dependent on having a utility, right? This room right now, we need the lights on, we need the fans blowing. And we simply can't afford to have a situation where the utility is financially insolvent. I believe that they're going to get through this situation. And what I'm worried about is a number of things. But I think that what's happening with Maine, that's a good model. If you look at SMUD in Sacramento, it's another municipal utility. That's a good model. KIUC with a cooperative, that's a great model. LA County, that's absolutely exactly. Tacoma, there's a lot of examples where, especially in times like this, where there is a crisis, that's actually the time when cooperatives and municipalities become really important for better solutions, where there's a better alignment of the interest between who owns the utility and who it should be benefiting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr.
Yeah,
Rojas.
I want to input something in there. That's the reason why we gotta support sustainability. I think we've been talking about sustainability all this time, and if we do it right, we can be sustainable. We can make our own energy. And I think that's a good point about bringing out what happened if HECO goes bankrupt. And we here we're like in the Pacific Ocean by ourselves. And I think we can be sustainable as far as creating new energy. It's just how the state and other officials can support sustainability.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more input or questions for Senator Kim? Seeing and hearing none, thank you very much, Senator.
You.
Now, Representative Mizuno is next up.
Thank you. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to try to answer Mr. Sung's questions first so I don't forget. Regarding the middle schools, both middle schools, why or should they be funded and should they have a ban? I think that's a question exactly what Senator Kim said for their principal and their students. They'd like to do that. So if you're interested, I would be happy to try to get a meeting with you and the principals of Doe and Kalakaua middle schools. That shouldn't be a problem. So I can do that. In fact, we're just meeting with Principal Ronald Oyama of Kapalama Elementary School on a project that we're working together on. I'll talk about it later, but not now. So yes, if you want, give us a holler and I'll try to help set up that meeting. Okay, your second question. Ballot question for the voters, HECO, nonprofit. I think we just met with Governor Green this week and he said all options are on the table because that did come up. That did come up. Nonprofit, yes, that's a possible option. What about a co-op like Hawaii? That's another option. What about a public-private partnership or business with HECO? That's another option. Now, I will say this. Let me caution everyone. We do not want HECO to go bankrupt. If that happens, we're left with nothing. And you heard that from Senator Kim. So that is a big concern with us. We're doing all we can to enforce the law and make sure anyone that was harmed improperly gets, rightfully so, what's due to them. But again, we do not want to bankrupt HECO because then we'll all lose and the ratepayers will have to take the hit. So yes, good question. And yes, Governor Green did mention all of those are on the table as possible options. We'll see what happens. Okay, and then I'm going to go real fast. Speaker had mentioned that he wanted us, all of you, to know that he's formed 6 working groups. I think I may have briefly mentioned at the last meeting. Environmental remediation is 1, food, water, and other supplies is 2, jobs and businesses 3, schools is 4, shelter is 5, wildfire prevention is 6, targeted at the Lahaina fires to see what went wrong, how we can do this better, and craft legislation like Mr. Franklin was talking about, legislation in 2024 to do this right. So I'm not trying to make any excuses for any public body or anybody. I just wanted to say that we met with Governor Green, General Hara, FEMA Regional Administrator Bob Fenton, and they continue to provide housing for all of our residents on Maui, in Maui, that were affected by the fires. Questions will come up. What about COFA migrants? These are our people from Micronesia, from Chuuk, Pohnpei, from Coast Rai, from Marshall Islands. They have the COFA migrant status. They can travel as U.S. citizens, but they don't have the same rights as U.S. citizens. So for them, housing has been a concern, but the Red Cross has been providing housing to our COFA migrants. So at this point, everyone is being served. We're grateful for that. I'm gonna hit something real fast, and I'll try to be as quick as possible. I just wanted to get the numbers straight so all of you know. Total people that have been affected and have been housed from the Lahaina fires, 6,854 individuals across 36 hotels. For, again, our COFA migrants and our undocumented survivors that are not U.S. citizens, they're still getting housing covered by American Red Cross, so that's good. There's about 1,100 of our fire victims that are housed with Airbnb. And at this point, I think I may have mentioned last time, we're trying to move those families and individuals out to more intermediate or permanent housing. So that's what we're trying to do. We'll let you know, we'll report back on what we've done. Impacted households, 561 impacted households that actually owned homes that were destroyed by the fire. Others that were affected, 1,843 households that lost their place were renters. Just wanted to get that out. The big thing that Governor implored upon us is the economic impact. He's doing his best to respectfully open Maui, and it's not going to be open with a blaze. It's going to be phased. It's going to be very slow. He respects our people that have been hurt by the fires. The bottom line is this: 8,773 people are unemployed in Maui County due to the wildfire. So let's work with our people that need employment. Governor Green confirmed that if people are not ready to go back because of trauma, that's absolutely acceptable, and he's not going to push anybody back. But a number of the unemployed has asked that the governor move forward and try to reopen Maui. Here's a travel impact. We averaged about 3,000 arrivals per day in Maui. Prior to the pre-disaster, we had 7,500 daily arrivals. So air capacity has fallen by 23.4%. As far as funding from the feds, $100 million to support our disaster victims. These benefits directly support families impacted by the wildfires and can assist with housing, utilities, transportation, school supplies, and clothing. And finally, I want to bring this up. FEMA, Bob Fenton's been great. 30.3 million dispersed to 6,256 individuals for disaster relief. Another 11.3 million dispersed to 2,308 individuals for housing assistance. We're not out of the woods yet, but we appreciate what the feds are doing. Finally, school reopening. Governor wanted to impress upon us that during the week of October 16th, schools in the Lahaina area will initiate their reopening plans. So we are moving along slowly and carefully, but that's the situation. And I just wanted to thank several members on the board, Chair Mizuno, board members Alan and Simeon. They came out along with Senator Kim and Tyler Dos Santos Tam's office. We had a neighborhood security watch training program at Kalihi Uka Elementary School last week, Thursday, October 5th. Again, mahalo to Principal Santos, Kalihi Uka, as well as HPD Officer Ing, Corporal De Rosario, and Sergeant Brian Oato for their help in training us to walk by Decoit Park and other areas for the Neighborhood Security Watch program. Again, I wanted to thank the members. Simeon is actually going to be the coordinator for this group, and I asked Simeon if I could say this, Mr. Rojas, we're going to make this group a mobile security watch group. So if there is crime, Alan, in our Kono place, we can go there, we can deploy there. If there is crime or issues on Wilson Track, we can deploy there and go with our group. So I think this is something that we've been trying to imagine for a while, and I'm glad, Simeon, you're taking the lead on this, and we appreciate HPD working with us to reduce crime, not only at Decoit Park and Awan Kono and Wilson Track, but other areas in our district. So thank you very much to the board members. Really appreciate you. Finally, guys, this is kind of in a tangent, but I just wanted to share with you. You would think doing what I'm doing is pretty easy. We're public servants. All of you are our employer. I get that. I had a call from someone in the media, a good friend of mine, who wants us to help with Hawaii, from Hawaii, Ramona Okamura. She's 71-year-old retired healthcare worker. She remains in the Gaza Strip during this conflict. And Ms. Okamura was a volunteer Gaza amputee project, teaching kids who lost their limbs, leg, arm, what have you, on the artificial limb and how to walk again, how to do things with their new artificial arm, what have you. Through no fault of her own, she's in a war zone. We've lost contact. I just wanted to share with you this. That's why my job, it's kind of like a curveball. You'd think I could reach out and send a letter to the governor, send a letter to the president, send a letter to the United Nations. Not that easy, not that easy. I could possibly be in violation of the Hatch Act, certain acts, federal law that would preclude me from saying or doing something. So I'm working with the House leadership team and our staff attorneys. But again, it kind of pains me to say that here we have someone from Hawaii who's risking her life, she's retired, to help kids that lost their arm or their leg. And yet, I don't know if I have a way of requesting help. And again, we don't want to start an international conflict, and I represent the state, and so I definitely don't want Governor Green or anybody from the state or the entire state to look bad. But that's some of the complications that we go through. It's not as easy as we think. With that said, we're still here listening to issues of crime, public safety, homelessness. Again, thank you for calling us about cutting grass and trimming grass around around Lihi Highway, and any repair for roads, sidewalks. Just continue to call us. We'll do our best to address those. And I'm here for any questions now.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board for Representative Mizuno? Seeing none, any questions from the community? I see and hear none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Representative Mizuno. Okay, moving on to our standing committee report. The State and County Budget Committee Chair Ethan Dayton is unavailable tonight. Let's move on to the Sidewalk, S-Curve, and Transportation Committee, Mr. Hussey and Mr. Dayton. No report. Okay. Moving on to the Beautification Committee Chair Randolph Franklin.
At this time, ma'am, I have no report because I'm still with update from my Miss Robinson. There's a lot of things that we have that are working. I talked today about trying to get the broken speed. There's not speed signs. There's school safety speed signs, and what's the progress on that? We are still waiting on the update for the cameras and the light to Kalihi Park instead of Kalihi Elementary School. I'm trying to keep this a park and rec thing, not a Department of Education thing. We have got approval from Park and Rec, and I don't want to go through the Department of Education for anything. So there are 7 different projects that are up and running, and I just don't have the status of it at this time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Miss Anderko. Lynn?
Aloha, Chair. I apologize for being late. I did want to just quickly, I had some connectivity issues, but I wanted to let Board Member Franklin know that the riser for the school speed sign, which is very, very old and has been broken, that riser went in and did get referred to DTS. The referral to DTS means that it's not just a replacement, going through the Department of Facility Maintenance. They're obviously looking at something closer and better. Maybe likely we don't have something that's similar and probably solar, but it's been received and it's moving forward. And maybe at the end I can just give you a brief report on other things if time permits.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's move on to our Sustainability Committee, Mr. Chair Simeon Rojas.
Okay, my sustainable mission is working in progress, and I want to start with community awareness as we I'm part of the neighborhood security watch. So as we walk through the community with the NSW, this will be an opportunity for self-awareness of our environment, and for our member and community to see the problem and concerns, and for improvement of our environment goals. But also, I wanted to share something. I recently linked up with the Kaimuki Cleanup Festival that was arranged by Sustainable Coastline. And I believe that they could be a good resource for us, especially cleaning up the stream up there. If we can check that out. And also not just that, but we can start cleaning up our community. Hopefully we can get more people involved, the whole community involved, and that our main goal is to just align Kalihi Valley with the Aloha Plus Challenge. Thank you.
Thank you for your report, Chair Rojas. Let's move on to our RPZ committee. Sorry, Representative Mizuno, you have a question?
Yeah, Chair Member Simeon, thank you so much for your help. Wondering if you could help Faith and this school with their stream, not only cleanup, but maybe the resources with the water and other issues. That would be greatly appreciated. And whatever my office can do to join in and help you, we'd love to do it.
Oh, thank you so much for the support.
And Faith, is that okay that we?
Yes, and
Okay.
I'll be there.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
So
you.
after we're done, I think you guys are going to connect, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. RPZ committee Chair Alan Kumalai.
Yeah, recently the city council voted to approve the RPZ, and we're just awaiting the implementation of the bill. And some of the residents' concern was the fees that will be charged for the permits, and I think that might be a concern and might be discussed soon. And we might bring that up in the future.
Thank you. You have a question, Mr. Sung?
Mr. Kumalai, the RPZ, is it just for the existing zones or is it for all of Kalihi?
Well, they wrote the RPZ rules to encompass the whole county. But initially, it's starting in the existing RPZ areas of Kalihi. But they wrote it so that it can be adapted to other areas of the county of Honolulu that can use RPZ. It's not for every street in the county. It's just for the areas that need it.
I was just wondering if I had to go get one patch for my car.
Where do you live, Mr. Sung? If I
Not
can
not
ask
in an
which
existing
area?
RPZ zone.
Oh, okay. So you don't
That's
need
the reason
it right
why I'm
now.
like, do I have to do it? And plus, if there is parking, I have such a long driveway that I have people parking on my driveway that, you know, illegally parked on my driveway and constantly towing cars. So that's going to be stepped up too, and another headache for me. So that's the only reason I was asking.
Thank you. If I can ask Miss Lynn to discuss a little further about the bill that was just passed at the city and county, the details.
So it is my understanding, very much like Board Member Kamali said, that the bill is passed and that we are looking at the details for implementation. I do not believe that the fees have been set yet. And I can get back to the board about if we'll have further opportunity for public input.
So my understanding is it already passed, correct?
It did pass,
I
yes.
know.
It
Okay.
did. Yep. There,
And just awaiting for implementation. Okay.
that's my
And
understanding, yes.
the fee, Representative Mizuno? Hold on, Mr. Sung.
Thank you, Chair. Lynn Robinson, can you, so the fees have not been confirmed yet. I've been getting a number of calls from area residents that currently live in RPZ. I'm one of them. I live in RPZ zone. Is there, can you let Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos Tam know if we can bring the fees down to as much as possible? And I will go ahead and text both him and Brandon the same. But again, I'm just being a conduit for our neighbors that live in RPZ, and the majority of them had said that they don't mind paying, but the fees seem to be quite high, especially when you go to car 2, 3, and then a fourth car. So yeah, and I know Councilmember Dos Santos Tam did a great job bringing the bill and finally pass it through the finish line, which I commend him for. But again, if you can let him know, and after we're done tonight, I'll go ahead and text both him and Brandon regarding the fees, and if we can try to bring it down.
Representative, I will absolutely pass that along. I remember that the fees were top of mind when we did our town hall meeting. And I know that council member is committed to not making it any more expensive than it needs to be to facilitate the program. I will pass along your concern, and I'm getting the same input that you are from community members and community members that are in the existing zone. So thank you for your advocacy for your community. We're right there with you.
Thank you, and please let Tyler know we appreciate him, we support him. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Board Member Hussey, followed by Mr. Sung.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been hearing the same thing. Folks concerned about the fee structure. I'm wondering, Lynn, if the council member would be open to, some sort of progressive fee structure where, maybe tied to property tax value or something like that, where for basically, so there's some rationale for some people paying higher fees and other people paying lower fees, based on property values. Thank you.
I can take that input back. I certainly can't speak for him, and I know that he's just working, with the department, all of the departments that weigh in on the bill. So I think it comes down to just cost for facilitation and the things, things related to running the program. But I will absolutely pass along your suggestion for like, some kind of incremental or maybe income or property tax based structure.
Mr. Song.
For those of you who don't know, they're proposing 125 for the parking fee. So kind of steep. But I want to switch a year per car. I want to switch topics. They just recently passed the flavored cigarette ban. Is that correct?
That I am not sure of. That was not council member's bill, although he was part of that.
I just saw it in the news, and I'm trying to wonder why they want to ban something and give this to the criminals to sell. Flavored cigarettes, flavored vape. We know that the ban didn't work with fireworks because here in Kalihi, and we hear it all the time. In fact, I just heard it last night. So why are we giving up control when we could just raise the taxes on flavored cigarettes and fireworks and keep it out of the hands of criminals who's now making profits and doing all kinds of illegal stuff with this money? So why are we giving up our control from the state and giving it to criminals? That's just my thought on that.
I will absolutely pass that along.
Thank you. Any more questions? Representative Mizumi, would you like to answer on the vaping issue?
Yeah, thank you. That's actually for the state lawmakers. We passed that bill. And so I'll be happy to talk to you, offline, but the purpose was to stop kids from vaping or smoking cigarettes. And the target was to use certain flavors like fruity tutti frutti, grape, watermelon, cotton candy. I mean, really targeted at kids to get them hooked and in adulthood continue with either their vaping or tobacco use. So I voted up on it. I've introduced that bill a number of years. So I can talk to you about it. But yeah, it's the state. If there's anyone to blame, it was the state. We passed that law. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, let's move on to our approval of the regular meeting minutes. Can I get a motion for the approval? Thank you. Any second?
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded for the approval of our meeting minutes last month, September 13, 2023. Any discussion? Mr. Franklin?
Yes, in our minutes under Councilman Tyler Dos Santos Tams, under speed limit, I would like for it to be changed to, it got broken speed sign, but it should be broken school zone speed signs. And for lighting upgrades were submitted around Kalihi Uka Elementary School, if that could be changed to Kalihi Uka Park instead of the school. I don't know what the school's doing with their lighting or their cameras, but our request was not for the school, it was for the Kalihi Uka Park. So if those can be changed, I would appreciate it.
Oh. Yeah, Council Member Dos Santos Tam's office reported that, and if Lynn, you have any edits for this minutes, you can say so right now.
Yeah, I concur that it would be in the Kalihi Uka Park. And by the way, that request was granted for the upgrade of away from the legacy light. So that's helpful. We're still waiting on the bathroom lighting, but it's the park, not the school. The school would be the state, of course. And the other request was for a school zone speed limit sign. Thank you for that, Board Member Frank.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any more comments or edits for our minutes from last month? Saying none, we have to vote on the amended version. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Thank you very much. Now let's move on to our other reports. Chair's report. I filled out a form for the parade participation that was asked by Mr. Dana Yap last meeting, and this is for the Kalihi Business Association Holiday Parade for the Black Friday, November 24th, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we discussed this last meeting, and this parade will start at Kalihi Union Church. So the board members are enticed to join the parade. And also the community as well. If you wanted to join the parade, you please do so. And we are going to give out candies, I believe. So anyone can bring their own candies, and the Neighborhood Board Commission office will also provide some candies like Spencer. Okay, so that's one. And correct me if I'm wrong, this Friday, you guys are going to begin the neighborhood watch first walk at the Court Park. Okay, so from what time? From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And if anyone is interested in joining the watch, there is a form there that you can fill out and turn it in to Mr. Rojas, and we can make you guys get involved as well. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our announcements. Next meeting will be Wednesday, November 8, 2023 at 7 p.m. here at Kalihi Elementary School, and also through WebEx. And thank you very much, by the way, Faith and Kalihi Elementary School, for allowing us to use this facility. Okay, broadcast meetings, neighborhood board meetings aired on Olelo Channel 49 on the 4th Saturday of the month at 6 p.m. and the 1st and 3rd Sunday of the month at 9 a.m. For archives, you can go to this link on the agenda and you can check on our meetings, correct, Spencer? Yes. Okay, any more announcements? Go ahead, Mr. Oh, I know you.
Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity. Members of the board, members of the community present, Representative Mizuno, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Fa'atea. I'm one of the guys that are volunteer to coach our kids in our community. I'm here to announce that we'll be having a Halloween bash. It's going to be on October 27th from 5:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock. We're very fortunate to have a new leadership at Kalihi Valley District Park, a gentleman by the name of Scotty Heia Salvador. He's been the guiding star to lead our community, to try to foster the relationship of our kids, who should be our leaders of tomorrow. So we'll be having a Halloween program. There'll be a custom contest. John, you cannot enter, but there will be a custom contest for the kids and the Ohanas together. They'll get prizes that will be sponsored by the volunteers of our community, Kalihi Valley Athletic Club. This is also a joint activity with the Kalihi boosters who are trying to put it together. So if you guys would like to be there, it would only lift the spirit of our kids and add importance to these kids' life. It's going to be a fun program. It's going to be October 27th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. That's a Friday. The location is going to be 1911 Camford Road. That's our district park. They're going to start in gym and then come out to the outside of the gym with the different community organizations or people in the community who want to come out and pass out candy, but also pass out information. I really drove by to speak to the leader of our Pig Hunters Association because I believe that's an important association that our kids can see what the importance of pig hunting is all about. To be part of this, I'm hoping that he can hear this invitation given to him today, that he will join us on that particular evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And great to see you again. Long time no see. Do you happen to have a flyer for that event? Sorry.
I have a flyer, but the problem is the font of the flyer, the 2 looks like the 7 looks like the 2. So when I went down to Ray's Cafe to post the flyer up, he told me, hey, it's on the 22nd. So I told him, no, because we're a little too old, the font is 7th. So we're having the font change, and I should have it readily available by Monday. I can drop it off at the Senate representative's office and anybody else who want to see a flyer.
You can email it to us, and maybe we are able to disseminate it to the board members and the rest of the community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rojas, you have a question?
Yeah, if you can get me some of that flyer, while we're doing our neighborhood security watch, we could be distributing it to the community.
I'll get it to you ASAP as soon as I have it at hand.
Yep. All right.
Should be by Friday.
Yep.
I'll get it to you by then.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more announcements? Any more announcements? I see and hear none. This meeting is now adjourned.